seat no have no tear. Shoes cost a few hundred a pair. I may have money all through the year. I rumors them spreading. They get a sense see me planting. But I'm an addy Danny, addy juggling. I feel rumors of one. Rumors of one. Rumors and rumors and rumors and rumors. All night I propaganda. Rumors of one. Love. Can't stop it. No way. Rumors them spreading. Claim that I sense in me planting. But I'm an addy Danny, addy juggling. I feel rumors of one. Rumors of one. Police officer, let go me hand. You don't know me and you don't understand. You see me flashing at Chris Renton. So you claim that me a criminal. Rumors them spreading. Claim that I sense in me planting. But I'm an addy Danny, addy juggling. I feel rumors of one. Rumors of one. Keep it and just to nice up the place. Wine up liquor and red off them face. Make man and man have money to spend. And all the youth them
This
know me.
episode of Health Vibes is brought to you by the brand you trust the most, Jolly's Pharmacy Limited, leading the way in healthcare.
At Jolly's Pharmacy, your health and wellness is our passion. No wonder Jolly's Pharmacy provides the widest variety of the highest quality vitamin supplements and remedies for your lifestyle activity and nutritional needs. Take care of your body. Get the multivitamins Advantage supply to enhance, promote, improve, repair, and revitalize your body. Jolly's for the complete line of preventative and curative health supplies and tonics. Rejuvenate with men's and women's one-a-day tablets. Boost concentration, Tricentrum Silver, and Omega-3s to build your immune and nervous system functions. Strengthen your cardiovascular system. Boost bone health. For stamina, get all your natural balanced Megavites herbal supplements. Men's daily formula for sexual energy and function. Saw palmetto plus supplements to soothe joint pain. Feel like a dynamo. Get up and go. Catch back your mojo at Jolly's, Dominica's principal healthcare pharmacy. Why? Because you deserve more from a drugstore.
Jolly's Pharmacy presents a new and innovative radio program, Health Vibes. Health Vibes. Every Wednesday morning on Q95 FM. Health Vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lando and Pearl Fontaine Butler. Health Vibes from 10:15 to 11 a.m. It's not just your average talk show. It's appealing and educational with a bit of humor. Real vibes on your health. Now that's the vibe. Health Vibes on Q95 every Wednesday from 10:15 to 11 a.m. with Pearl and Carlton. Tune in. Tune in.
Welcome to Health Vibes, Dominica's most foremost program on health, medicine, nutrition, and wellness, featuring the latest news on conventional and alternative medicine and healthcare. Now, here's your host, Carlton Lando, and co-host, Pearl Fontaine Butler.
Good morning to you, Dominica. We are so happy to be connecting with you on another episode of Health Vibes. Today is a beautiful sunny day, and Dominica I think it's just a gorgeous day to take a drive. If you are home on vacation and you have a vehicle, you might just want to put a nice little basket with some good food, fruits. Walk with your towel, walk with a good book to read, and maybe just drive somewhere and chill out, as we would say.
Well, good morning, Carlton. Good morning, Dominica. Speaking of drive, so over the weekend, my family and I, we took a drive to the head of Dominica. My husband was saying that he had never been to the nose of Dominica. And we drove all the way there. And then we took a tour along the Indian River. I mean, it was my first time.
Yes.
And it was such an amazing experience. We had this amazing tour guide, Gregory, who really knew the ins and outs of the river. And it was one of those times where you just had to just sit and take everything in, because it's not often. I mean, look how long it's taken me to get there, but it's not often that we tend to venture out. And it was just so amazing. So, I really want to, echo Carlton's sentiment on taking a drive, doing something, experiencing the nature island.
Yes.
I mean, we live here day in and day out. We do the same things. We need to take time to experience and just sit and breathe and just appreciate what we have here. I mean, it was just such a beautiful experience.
Excellent.
Such a beautiful experience.
And Paul, it's like, it's like you live in your home and saying, well, you know what? I have not been to the Bory Lake or the freshwater lake in God knows how long.
Or period. You've never been there, but you've lived here all your life. You know,
you just put something in your bag and, walk with, maybe you want to maybe tag along with another friend and go and experience. Just spend your day there and just really, and that in itself really, gives you that sense of wellness. You breathe fresh air. You feel like all of your issues and burdens and everything
for the moment have just gone. It's therapeutic. It really is to be in nature and to become one with it, and just to see all the different kinds of activities. So while we were on this boat, we happened to see, I've never seen a blue crab.
Wow.
I've never seen that. And we saw some iguanas and we heard the birds, and it was just, amazing. Yes. It was amazing. So I, do want to take this opportunity to encourage our listeners to go out and experience what we have right here in the Nature Island.
Excellent. Let me take the opportunity as well to thank the many people who turned out to our cardio jam yesterday at the Astafans parking lot. I was told that it was a great addition, and now that we are in daylight saving time, we are anticipating much larger crowds. Our doors are always open. We meet every second and last Tuesday of each month in the Astafans parking lot from 5:30 to 6:30. Come dance yourself into shape and get your body moving. And it's only $1 bill to get you in.
Well, I mean, listen, Jolly's Pharmacy is always about leading the way in healthcare, being progressive, and we shouldn't really have to pay to keep ourselves in shape. We should not really have to pay for that. But some people kind of pay for the wrong things that would bring them to the point of being overweight or being unhealthy. I mean, we pay for it in the long run. So I think that, Jolly's Pharmacy really needs to be commended on this particular venture, because it's exciting. It is. I mean, I'm not able to attend because I have other engagements at that time. Yeah. But I do see a lot of my coworkers and a lot of my friends running over there. It's really exciting, and people meeting me on the street and say, boy, next week I'm going to go, or next month I'm going to do this, or, So, yeah, we are really on the right path here.
Excellent. As we're on Cardio Jam, though, I received a call this morning from one of our partners and friends who is asking Jolly's to have an edition for the elderly people, particularly the diabetics who are above 50. If we can have an edition of Cardio Jam. And so that's why, people are recognizing the importance of it. And so we will be taking it to the drawing board and see how we can work on something specifically for the more mature audience. Right.
And I have an affinity for elderly people.
Right.
It's just,
because we want to encourage them as well to move, to exercise, to be in shape, to get the blood flowing and pumping. And so it's something definitely. I was very impressed that the individual called and suggested such, recognizing the importance of what we're doing and how we can actually broaden the base and include the elderly people. And so, I mean, how we roll, Pearl. We will be taking it to the drawing board, and we will most likely make something happen. So, Pearl, we have some amazing news this morning to share.
Yes, we do. In the region, topping the news in health this week, Barbados could follow in the footsteps of Trinidad and Tobago in banning the sale and promotion of sweet drinks at schools across the island. The Barbados Today reported. The Trinidad ban is due to take effect on April 1. Barbados Minister of Health, John Boyce, told a consultation on healthy eating that he had asked officers in his ministry to draw up a set of policy options to include a ban on sweetened drinks for consideration by Cabinet. He said, I am especially concerned about children and what is available to them daily in schools and its environs. Among these policy options will be consideration regarding the marketing of unhealthy foods to children while they're at school. Consideration will be given to a ban on the sale or promotion of sweetened beverages on the premises of our schools. The ban is being contemplated in the wake of the introduction of a 10% tax on sweetened drinks in 2015, a levy that could be doubled, the minister said. He also said that I've been advised that increasing this tax to 20%, and this is one of the suggestions that's coming from the public, would be more beneficial to realizing the objectives of reducing demand. Boyce had last month pointed to the 2012 Global School Health Survey, which indicated that 32% of students aged 13 to 15 were obese, 14.4% were overweight, and less than 30% had been engaging in the daily recommended amount of physical activity. He also revealed at the time that 70% drank carbonated drinks at least once a day, and nearly 1 in 5, 18%, ate fast foods 3 or more days weekly. I mean, listen, this is not unfamiliar territory. We've been speaking about this. We've seen the rates in Dominica. We've spoken about this before, and I think it's always great that people are trying to stay on top of these things, because if our young people grow up to be obese and overweight, what is that going to say for our productivity in years to come?
And Pearl, the fact of the matter is that obesity in itself, particularly when it's uncontrolled, is now classified as a disease. And obesity comes with many complications. So it's not merely just about you putting on weight and feeling well, okay, that's normal. But recognizing that it increases your risk factors to acquiring one of the chronic non-communicable diseases. You can also get circulatory problems with obesity. You can also put more strain on your skeletal muscular system, so you're more prone to have pain in your ankles, in your knees, back pain, and so these are complications that could occur. And so I think the awareness that young people, students, pupils, parents need to take charge of what we actually put in the lunch kits to send our children to school. What do we give them as treats, so you feel that your child has done really, really good? What would be the ideal nutritional treat that you'd want to give that child?
Well, I'm really proud of some of the schools on island, in Dominica particularly, that they have actually taken the steps to say, you know what, none of these sweet drinks. You must have fruit. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. Pioneer Preparatory, no juice, only water. Every day. So my son gets water every day, and he must have a serving of fruit, or 2 or 3 or 4 in his lunch bag. They promote healthy eating, and I think that this is really great. The school actually promotes it, and for me, I don't want to ever go against what the school wants to promote, because I want to promote that. It's great,
right?
But we have an issue here where we have some parents who will go into the stores and buy Buster and buy things like this, soft drinks, and then give it to their children.
And I know that the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, has right now an obesity campaign that is they're surveying quite a number of primary schools and taking data. And so that, because they've recognized that there seems to be an obesity problem among our pupils and students, and they're looking at ways that they can rectify this situation before it gets out of hand. I know that our taxes will also increased on sugary products just about maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, another news item coming from CARPHA: foodborne ailments are on the rise. Every year, thousands of people in the Caribbean experience foodborne illnesses after exposure to contaminated food or drink. Persons affected usually experience severe diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain, sometimes accompanied by fever, headaches, and other symptoms. Recent increases in reported incidents of foodborne diseases have now made this common health issue a regional priority. Dr. Bernadette Theodore Gandhi, Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization representative for Trinidad and Tobago, in her opening address to participants at the 4-day sub-regional workshop on strengthening foodborne disease surveillance in the Caribbean, indicated that food safety is a global priority, and that PAHO and WHO recommends the farm-to-table approach, linking the processes from food production, distribution, and consumption to reduce foodborne illnesses in the region. Participants were informed that statistics show foodborne illness is one of the most common and increasing public health issues. However, ensuring the safe supply of food in the Caribbean was a complex challenge, given the vast differences in countries and the region's heavy reliance on tourism and food importation. Dr. Lisa Indar, head of the Tourism and Health Program and Foodborne Diseases lead at CARPHA, emphasized that unsafe food can lead to outbreaks of foodborne illness that can have serious health, economic, reputational implications for the region's tourism-dependent economies and adversely affect the influx of visitors to the region. She highlighted that since 2003, CARPHA and PAHO have been working together to reduce foodborne diseases, and the workshop is part of continued efforts to ensure that the region is equipped. Carlton.
Pearl, again, this is something that we've spoken about.
Right.
You know, we've had the Ministry of Health officials, more specifically the environmental health officers, have come and given, countless information as it relates to foodborne diseases, and so the precautions and tips that we need to take as consumers of food and as people preparing foods to the public. As I've always said, it's your responsibility when you go to any food vendor to observe how the person looks. How do they, is this the same hand that takes your bread and then takes your money? Do they use gloves? Are you seeing multiple rings? Are you seeing long nails? Are you seeing dirt under the nails? Are you seeing, so you want to really look, at multiple, all the different, before you make that decision, because at the end of the day, your appearance is going to say a lot about, what might be going on behind the curtain. And I think foodborne diseases, it's something that's very disturbing. It can cause many complications to health of people, to the integrity as well of businesses and establishments that are preparing foods. And so I think for the many restaurateurs and that are listening to us, and people with bars and restaurants, you definitely want to be more cautious. You want to take all the necessary precautions to ensure that the foods that you're preparing are of the highest quality.
Okay. Well, be sure to check us out and call us up on 449-3095. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we will be taking calls.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollys.gm. It's your time to jump the line. online. Shop now at Jollies.tm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollies.tm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Jump the line. Visit us at www.jollies.tm. Jollies Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
At Jollies Pharmacy, your health and wellness is our passion. No wonder Jollies Pharmacy provides the widest variety of the highest quality vitamin supplements and remedies for your lifestyle activity and nutritional needs. Take care of your body. Get the multivitamins advantage supply to enhance, promote, improve, repair, and revitalize your body. Jollies for the complete line of preventative and curative health supplies and tonics. Rejuvenate with men's and women's one-a-day tablets. Boost concentration. Tricentrum Silver and omega-3s to build your immune and nervous system functions, strengthen your cardiovascular system, boost bone health. For stamina, get all your natural balanced megavites herbal supplements, men's daily formula for sexual energy and function, saw palmetto plus supplements to soothe joint pain. Feel like a dynamo, get up and go, catch back your mojo at Jollies, Dominica's principal healthcare pharmacy. Why? Because you deserve more from a drugstore.
You're listening to Health Vibe.
So we're back with you. This morning, the last item we spoke about was on foodborne diseases. This morning, we want to focus a little on diarrhea. I don't know if you may be aware that there seem to be quite a number of people coming down with an acute form of diarrhea. I myself had it a few weeks ago. I know quite a number of people have been coming to the pharmacy requesting medications for diarrhea and vomiting, and so there seemed to be some bug or something in the air that might be causing this. So we want to discuss a little about diarrhea and what it is and the sort of precautions that you need to take. So what are the common medications that are often used? I think we have a caller, so let's take this caller.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, caller.
Blessings to you and yours this length season.
Good morning to you, my dear. How are you doing?
Pardon me?
How are you doing?
I'm thankful for life, thankful that I'm in the land of the living.
Excellent.
And that I can tune into
Health Vibes.
I'm jealous of you speaking how lovely Dominica is today. And if you're on vacation or you're visiting, what you can do. Well, I had the honor and the pleasure of Mr. Earl Edwards, who took me around the two ends of Dominica.
Yes.
And it's very nice there. I can see the other islands on the, what I would call it, the western side. For me, I would call it the western side. And then the eastern side where the Caribbean and the Atlantic joined together. Mm-hmm. That was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. So I'm thankful for that. And I heard you spoken about, Ting just spoke about, Pearl just spoke about the sweet drinks in school. Mm-hmm. This is something that should be eradicated a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And to me, here in Barbados, the school needs to, they need something to do about that. We have real obesity here, and I find that a lot of these franchises that come in, first thing you hear the children saying that we have a group here called My Dear Brother, somewhere the sheep was saying he wants your fat. So the children, they want home, they don't want home cooked food, they want the franchise. Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of parents spoil them with that. And I totally agree that there's a lot of obesity in this country, and don't talk about diabetes or hypertension. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you all, but I know years ago when I used to travel to St. Vincent, there wasn't a lot of franchise, and you would see the people go who's selling in the list shop something. You get a lot of ground provision and those things. But now people are not going those places; they are going to the franchise. So the grease and the fat that they're frying the things in, all those things is what causing the problem. But I guess the schools need to check what they're giving the children, and the parents need to stop buying the sweet drinks and all these snacks Because even some of the children who suffer like asthma and those things, who have allergies, and they eat a lot of snacks, that's not good for them. And then you see they end up then with all the pressure then at the asthma bay and other things at the, the hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally agree with y'all. But they should have done it every set, not wait on Trinidad. They should have done it every set. But you say it coming out of proportion also.
Thank you, caller. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. All right. So, Pearl, I really want to talk a little about this the diarrhea problem that seems to be surfacing on island, where many people seem to be contracting diarrhea. Some people are getting vomiting. Some people are vomiting. Some people are having nausea, and so I mean, diarrhea can be quite embarrassing. It can be troublesome. You don't want to leave your home. You might be driving on a bus, and you have this problem, and so you want to discuss it. So basically, what is a diarrhea? A diarrhea is basically characterized by having at least 3 to 6 abnormal loose stools within 24 hours. So if you've had 3 or above 3 loose stool, watery loose stool in less than 24 hours, then that is classified as a diarrhea. Now, diarrhea can be caused by at least 3 common organisms. So some can be bacterial, some can be viral, and some can be parasitic, meaning they can be caused by parasites. So if you, for example, E. coli, salmonella, those foodborne organisms, they're usually bacterial, and then in this type of diarrhea, your doctor may most likely give you an antibiotic. Okay. So in that, once a stool test is done, or the doctor has recognized that it's an E. coli or salmonella, then the doctor would give you a prescription for an antibiotic to fight against the bacterium causing that type of diarrhea.
Right. But usually people treat their diarrhea at home.
Right.
But at what point should somebody see a doctor?
Right, and that's a good point that you've asked. So, for example, if you've had a diarrhea for more than 3 days, so you've first day has passed, the second day, and you go into a third day and it's still consistent, then you should really see a doctor. If you see blood in your diarrhea, blood, you should see a doctor immediately. If you see mucus looking like pus, you should really see a doctor. If you feel extremely faintish and you may, let's say you have a blood pressure monitor home, you do your blood pressure and you recognize your blood pressure is abnormally low, then that could be a sign of severe dehydration happening. You should really see a doctor too. And so because there are certain procedures that would have to be done to confirm what organism that might be causing your diarrhea. So we were talking about the bacterial type, and those would require antibiotics. Then we also have the viral types, and those diarrheas are usually short-lived. So you would normally get them within a 24-hour period, 24 to 48-hour period, and they would be gone. And
but what are some of the symptoms with the viral?
Right. So most people would feel malaise, or you'd start feeling very, faint, tired, lethargic. Your energy level has sapped. You may feel loss of appetite.
Would you have cramping in
your
stomach?
will get most likely cramps, chills. You might feel very cold. You may feel that your mouth fills up of water. It's almost like a kind of nauseated feeling. Your appetite, as I said, would be gone, and then you would most likely begin to begin to pass watery stool with cramps. So these are normally the common symptoms: bloating, thirst. You might feel very thirsty as well. Some people may experience a bit of fever too with it, and usually we find the fever more prevalent with the viral type of diarrhea. The viral type diarrhea, we said, is usually short-lived, and you should feel better within a couple of hours. Okay. I think we have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I would just like to get on the program. I would like the Commissioner of Police to remember Martin Luther King.
I'm sorry, sir. This is a health show. All right, sorry about that. And we were talking about the different organisms that could cause it. And we also have the parasites. So, for example, we have some parasites, amoebias, Geriats, which basically are type of nematodes, and they themselves can cause an overgrowth and can cause a diarrhea. Those diarrheas are normally more they tend to be longer, take a longer span, so you could end up having a diarrhea for 2 weeks or even 3 weeks. Wow. And then with that type, you would definitely have to be placed on medication.
Well, wouldn't you be dehydrated by
You
that?
would. Most times, some of these people would be hospitalized, or immediately, once they've, as we said, by the third day, you should seek healthcare provider intervention. And so once a stool culture is done and there confirmation that you would most likely have a parasite, then you would have to be placed on anti-parasite medication like metronidazole or Flagyl.
Right. Particularly though, if a child is suffering with diarrhea, I remember many years ago, my little cousin had diarrhea, and my aunt had to run to the pharmacy to get Pedialyte, which had electrolytes. So what's the significance of that?
This is very, very significant, and we'll go back to it and link it up in a sense, because for example, most of the viral type of causing diarrheas, they're short-lived, and we do not necessarily recommend someone run into the drugstore and getting something to stop or address or arrest the diarrhea. So we don't really recommend initially Imodium or Kaopectate or any of these types of things immediately. Why? Because the organism needs to leave the body. Right. And when you take something like Imodium or Kaopectate, you're basically killing, or you're keeping the organism,
stopping the process,
longer in your body. So what we recommend is rehydration. So we could use Pedialyte, as you've mentioned. We could use ORS salts, oral rehydrated salts, and those are laced with key nutrients. So you would have
even coconut water.
Even coconut water.
Electrolytes.
Right. So you'd get your sodium, your potassium, and your glucose, which are usually the three key electrolytes that are usually lost during diarrhea. And so we want to ensure that you want to resuscitate your body as frequently as possible and use your ORS salts or your Pedialyte. If, for example, you have a baby who has diarrhea, babies below 6 months, as a mother, you definitely want to continue breastfeeding that baby. There are antioxidants and key nutrients in the breast milk that is going to help to hydrate the baby and to fight against the virus causing the diarrhea in the baby. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Very interesting program.
Thank you.
Carlton, something I say all you should be doing once a month.
Tell me.
Like having a walk from by Mams to Roseau to the Bayfront once a month. Part of the exercise too.
Okay.
Like on a Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
We plan that for put it over here for when they take part.
Okay.
I'm talking about the diarrhea. Like you go to a restaurant sometimes, their food don't sell. Some of them, they wicked enough, they don't throw the food. They don't get rid of the food. They put it in the fridge and they microwave it or warm it for you. All that give you fat. All that hurts your stomach, give you diarrhea too. And watching some people when they in a restaurant selling to you, take a good look of the person dressing, how they dress before you buy. Some of them full of rings on their finger. They have a man, they're helping them, the man have a face. You know, you have to take a good look of what we really put in our body. And if you have a baby that have diarrhea, you can use a grapefruit and so, or water with some salt in it to help the baby.
Okay.
So do have a blessing.
Thank you.
You too.
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you. Pearl, some diarrheas are also caused by allergic reactions. So you might have taken something and allergic to it, and you could get a diarrhea from that. Lactose intolerance. There are some people who just cannot ingest anything that has lactate. And so that too can cause a diarrhea. Some people who have colitis or irritable bowel syndromes or Crohn's disease, they too are more prone. So some of your medical conditions, they can also cause diarrhea as a complication. People who are on chemotherapy, they are more prone to develop either constipation or diarrhea based on the side effects of the medication. Some medications can also cause diarrhea as a side effect. And so there are several factors that could cause it. Even hypothyroidism. So if your thyroid glands are abnormally high, that too, that too, if the hormonal levels are high there, that too can cause diarrhea as a complication. And so that is why it's important that investigation must be done to ascertain the cause of your diarrhea. Not just assuming that it's maybe some bad food or it's something you may have drank that may always be the cause of the diarrhea. Some of the foods, though, that you definitely want to avoid if you do have a diarrhea, and that's very, very important. So you really want to avoid all dairy products, particularly milk and cheese and butter. You really want to avoid all dairy products. You want to avoid fried foods. Okay, you want to avoid fried foods. You want to avoid spicy foods and curried foods as well. These foods, they tend to irritate the lining of the stomach, and that in itself can cause more irritation to the gastrointestinal system. You want to avoid coffee and even caffeinated drinks. So anything that has, caffeine, you want to avoid that as well. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Phone. Good morning, Carlton.
Good morning, my friend. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I look forward to listening to you all on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen to you. I mean, I understand food contents also can cause bacteria, but you said something very important there as far as something could be what you take in, and which is, I do believe. And also, reason why I'm saying what I have to say, yesterday I was listening to the farmer's cry.
Yes.
With Matt.
Yes.
And one of the farmers said that the area where he's from, the water had a concentrated amount of chlorine, very strong. So a lot of times could be when we drink those things, the body just have a way of just flushing it out of the system right then and there. So a lot of the time, those things there could cause that. And I would like to, not you per se, to find out who are the individual on island putting the chlorine in the water and what amount of chlorine they're putting in the water. Because I think it's detrimental and really doing a damage on our people. And Pearl said something very important when her son is going to school. She makes sure that he got water, which is very important. But I just wanted to advise her, giving your son water, please avoid giving them the government tap water. There's too much chlorine in that water for our people. Thank you, and I'm listening.
Thank you very much, caller.
The wonderful thing about Dominica is that we have an abundance of water. So, God is good.
Right. So we're talking about some of the foods that you really want to avoid if you do have a diarrhea at this point. Prunes and raisins as well. Yes, they are excellent sources of fiber, but they can also cause you to have a diarrhea.
But of course.
Right. So then you would want to avoid these foods.
And if you are constipated and you do want to,
Right.
have a
You
bowel
can
movement,
have,
you
right.
should eat prunes.
and
That's
raisins.
where I would say to really stock up on the prunes.
Right. And you really want to avoid magnesium products. So whether you're taking magnesium tablets or, because remember, magnesium is one of the active ingredients that's in milk of magnesia, and it becomes a laxative. So you want to avoid magnesium products as well if you do have a diarrhea.
But what would be the other benefits of taking magnesium though?
Well, yeah, magnesium is an excellent mineral, so it's very good for fortification of bones and teeth. But it's also proven that it helps people who have who sweat profusely. So people who sweat all the time, a lot, especially their palms of their hands are always wet. Magnesium has been proven to help them in that condition as well.
Wow. See, you
Yes.
learn something new every day.
And so we were saying that there are some tests that may be done to confirm the cause of your diarrhea and the severity of your diarrhea as well. So the first thing your doctor may want to do is to have an assessment of what your nutrition. What was the last meals that you've had within the last couple of 48 hours, maybe last 48 hours. How were they prepared? In what form did you ingest those foods? The doctor may want to find out whether anybody in the house has the condition as well. Is it the first time that you've had this problem? Do you suffer with any other gastrointestinal problems, like do you suffer a peptic ulcer, for example? Do you suffer with acid reflux? Because these can also be complications of that. Do you suffer with anxiety? Because anxiety can also give rise to diarrhea as well. So there are some questions that your doctor may want to ask you. Your doctor may require a stool culture, to have a stool test done. So they say to you, well, go to the pharmacy, buy a small specimen container. If you cannot buy one, use a clean container, put some stool in there, return it to the lab, and within a couple of hours or so, or days, we'll have a result. Doctor may want to do a CBC, a complete blood count, to basically see that there isn't any underlying condition or that might be occurring in your body that might be giving rise to the diarrhea. A liver function test might also be done to confirm that there isn't any problem with your liver. And some doctors may also recommend what we call an ESR test, an erythrocyte sedimentation rate test, and that is another blood test that is done to confirm what's happening in the body. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good health program that you have there.
Thank you,
I
sir.
always listen to the Seventh Adventist health program.
Yes.
I listened to a lady, and she was saying that when you have a diarrhea, one of the best things you can take for it is cranberry juice, the 100%.
Cranberry juice?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it worked. I tried it already. I use it on my son already, and it works very well with cranberry juice, but it has to be 100% cranberry juice. Yeah, but that's a very good program that you have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you
we
for
did
that
make mention of
contribution.
some of the foods. So we said in the coconut water, some pumpkin soup, that you can also use that to good electrolytes, good,
Right.
very rich in potassium. The same thing, you'd get high levels of potassium in ripe banana, and you would get it also in
green bananas,
in coconut water as well. Peas and beans as well. You really want to avoid taking peas and beans if you do have a diarrhea. Yes, they're rich in proteins, they're rich in fiber, but at the same time too, they could cause you to go off more. And so you'd want to avoid taking peas and beans too if you do have a diarrhea. Some things you want to prevent. So you really want to ensure that you drink only clean boiled water or purified bottled water. If you do have a diarrhea, you really don't want to be drinking water directly from the tap or from a running stream. So you don't want to take direct water from a river at that point in time. You want to ensure that there is good sanitation, your own personal hygiene, and at the same time sanitation in and within the home. So you want to ensure that counters are sterilized, that the toilet area is sterilized and cleaned, that everything, you have very little chance to have flies coming into the place. So you want to make sure, and you want to really keep pets out of the house as well, particularly dogs, when you have a diarrhea. You want to ensure that there is consistent hand washing, preferably with soap and water as the first choice rather than hand sanitizers. You really want to use soap and water firstly as the first choice, and what the World Health Organization has recommended is that you need to wash your hand as long as the happy birthday song.
That's right.
So you sing the happy
the
birthday.
ABC song.
Right. So you sing one of these two songs, and you wash your hands as you do so, and you get the length of time that you should wash your hands. You preferably may want to avoid using towels within the bathroom area at this time, and use paper towel to dry your hands rather than towels, as you could end up having cross-contamination. And so you want to maybe avoid that, particularly if other people are using the washroom, the same washroom. You want to keep your fingernails short and clean, so you don't want to have long nails. I mean, you're wiping yourself after a bowel movement. You know, you can have fecal matter going under your fingernails that you may not even see.
Wow.
Right? And that in itself can get can contaminate your food, the very food that you would have prepared. And so you want to make sure that your fingernails are very, very short at that point in time. So you want to be trimming your fingernails. You want to avoid preparing food for others. So if you really have a diarrhea and there are people who can maybe prepare the food, you might want to take a step back and let another person prepare the meals on that particular day or within those hours whilst you have the diarrhea, rather than you preparing meals at that point in time. Right. You want to most likely stay home. So, I mean, you don't want to come into work with a diarrhea and every minute you have to be in a washroom, you're feeling uncomfortable, somebody knocking the door because you're in there too long, that kind of a thing. So you might want you to stay home, relax, resuscitate yourself as best as possible, drink as much fluid as possible, that is healthy fluids, non-carbonated, and not those that are too sweet. So you want to take healthy drinks, maybe some electrolytes, Gatorade, Lucozade, drinks like that. You might want to take nothing milky. So you don't want
even a vegetable smoothie would be
excellent. Right. You want to take some zinc. Zinc is one of the very, very, very good antioxidants that's available, and it's one of the key minerals that diarrhea depletes the body of too. And so you want to replenish your body with zinc. You could get zinc lozenges, you could get zinc tablets, and even many of the electrolyte sachets, they do contain at least 50 milligrams of zinc. So that would be a good addition into your body. Right. And you also want to ensure that you use soft tissue. You don't want nothing too rough to be aggravating your body, and so you want to use a soft tissue. If you cannot use tissue because of the number of bowel movements that you've had, you could use baby wipes, but preferably the unscented baby wipes. So you want to use something that's hypoallergenic, that you may not have a reaction to, and you want to dispose the wipes preferably in a plastic. So you could have your little bin in a plastic, you tie that and you put it in a larger bin. So you don't want to expose all the tissue and just throw it in the bigger bin, where a smaller child could actually go and touch it up and not wash their hands, or not knowing what was used with the tissue. You could end up having further infections. So you really, really want to take those precautions. You want to ensure that if you do have small children at home, particularly if one or two people have diarrhea, that you want to ensure that you protect them. So you want to make sure that once you've used the washroom, that you've sterilized the seat. You could sterilize it with alcohol. You could sterilize it with bleach. You could sterilize it with a disinfectant, to ensure that, another person doesn't catch the germ. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, caller. Okay. And so you really want to take those precautions because you would recognize that usually, particularly viral causing diarrheas, when one person in the family gets it, usually many people end up getting the same diarrhea within the household. And so you want to make sure that the areas are very, very well sanitized at all times. And if you do have young children, 7, 8, 9, 10, you want to teach them as well to be responsible. You've used the washroom, ensure that it's flushed, You could teach them, you could put some of the disinfectant in a spray bottle and show them how to spray the toilet. After they've done all of that, they wash their hands thoroughly, take some tissue, wipe their hand, take the very same tissue, open the knob, all right, of the door. So you don't want to throw the tissue and then go and touch the knob. Right. So you want to take this very same knob that you used to wipe your hands, open the door, take the tissue, wrap around the knob, the doorknob, open the door, get out, then take that tissue and throw it in the larger bin. Right. Okay. So these are things that we want to admonish you. There are some people who might also be experiencing vomiting. We want to say to you as well that electrolytes, those are very important. If you have young children, you could use Pedialyte, or you could get some ORS salts. They are always handy at your nearest health center. I know for a fact they're always available. So you can get some if you don't have some. Some people can also make their own electrolytes from home using purified water. So for example, if you have 1 liter of purified water, you can put 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar, preferably brown sugar, and half a teaspoonful of salts in that, and you drink that as frequently as possible, preferably after every loose stool. Remember, we said we don't want to recommend taking something like Gravol or Imodium immediately, because that might be one of the ways the body is getting rid of the toxin in your body. Right. And so you don't want to really keep that toxin too long, causing more hazard, more problems, more complications in the body. So you want to be cognizant of that. However, if you do have a diarrhea that has been going on for over 2 days, then you certainly need to seek the advice of a healthcare provider, as there might be some relevant tests that may need to be done to confirm the cause of your diarrhea.
Very, very good information. One of the things that I regard diarrhea as a way that my body is kind of just cleansing itself out. So sometimes we shouldn't actually see it as something bad. We should actually welcome it, because
I agree.
If there are any other things that are in your body, everything just gets dispelled during that time.
I agree.
So you can look at it from that point of view. And ginger tea is also
excellent.
Very good. Peppermint tea too.
Excellent.
So we do have a lot of things that we can take to assist.
Young guava leaves, people use that as well, to stop the diarrhea. But as we said, we don't want to really stop it. Right. Excellent. Yeah. And another food type that you want to be maybe avoid, particularly if you have a diarrhea, would be pork. Right. You might want to really avoid taking too much pork and salami, because pork meat does contain a lot of parasites. And so because you do not know, as you said, parasites is one of the organisms as well that can cause a diarrhea. And so you don't want to, particularly if it's a parasite, you really don't want to, put more parasite in your body. So you want to maybe avoid taking even some of the leafy vegetables like spinach and lettuce. They do contain a lot of parasites a lot of the times. And so you want to maybe avoid the intake of those foods too. Particularly if you've had a diarrhea or you are suffering from diarrhea at this point in time.
Okay. All right. Well, we've come down to the end of our program today. Great information on diarrhea, and parents, just be vigilant.
Yes.
And look at what it is that you're giving your children as snacks, and even at home. I mean, it starts within the home. So we promote water when they go to school.
Excellent.
We continue that. In that same vein, and when they come back home, sometimes, every now and again, juice is okay.
Excellent.
But we shouldn't go overboard with it. And so, these are the things that we talked about today. And Carlton shared a lot of great information on diarrhea, what you can do if you happen to, experience some of the symptoms, what you should look out for, when you should go to the doctor. So all of these things are really great to help you, on your way back to nursing yourself to health. So I'm Pearl Fontaine Butler.
And I'm Carlton. Take care, go out and do something productive. Have a great day and the rest of the week. Take care, people. Bye-bye.
Bye. You're listening to Health Vibes. You were listening to Health Vibes, a production of Jolly's Pharmacy Limited.
is Mr. Vegas. And I just want to take time out to tell you how great God has been to me. If God has been great to you, I want you all just enjoy this song.